Good day, everybody.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to episode 41 of the Good Day podcast, where Maxie and I talk about our adventures down under. You join us on our last night in Australia.
Oh, our last full night because we leave tomorrow night.
We leave tomorrow night, flight to Hawaii. We're in Coffs Harbor right now, which is kind of a shocker. If you last heard, we were all the way down south in Jindabyne.
Yes.
So we really have done a ton this week, and busy getting the last week settled here. And we left off with
we had just hiked Kosciuszko, and previously in that episode we talked about visiting our good friends Emily and Johnny in Newcastle. And if you've listened, you know that they're big runners, big trail runners.
Big time.
And I forgot to mention, which I think is so funny, is that when they were giving us the tour of their city, Newcastle, it was practically like a tour of where they go running, which love them to death. It's so funny, but they're like, this is the park that we do our Saturday 5Ks in. This is the mountain that we go
training.
Yeah, this is where we train on this mountain. Oh, you see in the very far distance that mountain from this other very far viewpoint, you could see the same mountain that we pointed out earlier that we ran on. We love them so much, but it's so funny. They love running.
They love running. They love the trails. The trails are the best. And also was the best. They gave us their room because they were planning on staying but didn't stay, and it came with free brekkie.
Yes,
I love free brekkie. And they had all the fixing. They had the Vegemite. They had instant coffee, or not even instant coffee, like professional coffee machine. You can't get better than that.
Yep, they had all the things. They had beans, very English Commonwealth thing to do. They had
beans on toast.
Yeah, they had everything, guys. And it was amazing. Thank you to the Pinchins.
They're the best. And I really liked Jindabyne. Like, it's such a cool little area down there, and cool mountain town. Kind of like a Killington. Killington, Vermont. New Hampshire vibes, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and then we started our drive back up to Canberra and Sydney, and on the way down we took the coastal route, but on the way back up we kind of we had a house sit to go to in Sydney, so we kind of had to get up there in a day, and we stopped in the nation's capital, the Australian Capital Territory, ACT.
Everyone says to skip it. It's a really, really, really tiny little state/territory. But we were driving through, so we stopped, and it was cute.
Yeah, we saw the Parliament House.
I have a bone to pick with the ACT.
Yeah, go for it.
There's just police cameras everywhere, and mobile speed cameras, and
everywhere.
Way more than you see anywhere else in Australia. And like, these poor people are choosing to live in the government capital for whatever reason that they're living there, and they have to get policed more than any other area of the whole country.
Yeah, Big Brother is watching the whole time in that country, or in that capital territory.
Yeah, like, why would anyone want to live there, you know? There was a lot of police activity.
A lot of police cams, a lot of speed traps, a lot of this, a lot of that.
And it's a very small place.
Yeah, you'd think they'd put that out in the middle of nowhere in the Northern Territory, but no, they just put it in like the most traffic congested area where you can't even go fast.
Yeah. So we went to the Parliament building, and I've never been to the White House, but it felt like what they were doing in the interior kind of was like trying to be like the White House.
You know what I thought?
I don't have a right to say that.
You know what I thought the Parliament outside of the Parliament House looked like?
A spaceship.
No, you know how like landfills are just basically big grassy hills?
Yeah.
It was basically a cool building that had like a tower on top of a landfill. That's kind of the vibes of it.
I like the landfill vibe part because it was
it was a nice grassy knoll.
A grassy knoll on each side of the building.
Yeah, and we just kind of walked around and explored, and it was free. We went into the Senate and the House of Representatives
courtrooms.
Yeah, big room. So I feel like I've seen some funny Australian arguments online of like things happening in there. So that was pretty cool. And we walked around a bit, and there was this little like part of it where it was kind of like a half museum, and it said, what is the Magna Carta? And it was all about the Magna Carta, just like preserving the Magna Carta and all this stuff. And on one of them, it says the Magna Carta is in this room. And we're like, all right, let's go see it.
In the members hall.
Yeah, in the members hall.
So we were just walking around this square hallway, basically, on the second floor. And one of those hallways was the members hall.
Yeah, and there was no Magna Carta.
So we walked around literally at least 5 times looking for the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
Something from the year 15.
Yeah.
And we just kept looking and looking and looking, and there was not enough workers, so couldn't ask anyone.
Yeah, I don't think the Magna Carta was there, and then Maxie found that it was like a 4th edition copy.
Yeah, it was like,
it was still
not
old
the
as,
real
but
Magna Carta.
Yeah.
But we were looking so long for the Magna Carta.
Yeah, so that basically our entire time in Canberra was the Magna Carta search, and I don't know, we didn't find it, and after
I couldn't wait to leave.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get out of there. And I guess in the end, it's just a piece of paper that's pretty old with some important writing on it.
Yeah, they had like so many images of it.
Can you tell the people what the Magna Carta did?
Yes, it was the protection of the king is not above the law. The king is subject to the law.
Nice.
Yes.
Good job.
So protecting the people from tyranny of the king.
Yeah, and basically the drive from Canberra to Sydney is a pretty chill, pretty boring, just easy drive going. And we kind of were like struggling to find where to stay because we love our rooftop tent and we thought this could be the last night we sleep in it. And there's no real campsites in Sydney. And the big, like, if there is a campsite, it's like as much as a hotel. So
yeah,
why buy a campsite when you buy a hotel? But we found a cool one on the outside in Western Sydney called the Camden Caravan Park. And it was okay. It was kind of grody.
Like the people working that owned it / lived at the reception were really cool and young. But then the bathroom just had bugs and beetles and spiders and cobwebs in every single corner you could think of. If you see a block of stalls and shower stalls and
Bugs
benches in the shower stalls and yeah, just any corner you can imagine. In the ceiling corners, cobwebs and bugs. And my shower in the morning had about 15
Yeah,
beetles.
you took a video of it. That was so gross.
Yeah, I only took a video of one corner of my shower, but there were beetles in every corner.
Yeah, but after our shower experience, we walked into town and got some kebabs, some HSPs.
Honestly, I used to love those 5-6 years ago, and I'm over them. I think that was my last one.
Yeah, they just like...
They're disgusting.
Sometimes a language barrier is very annoying. Like, you can't even decide. Like, I was like, oh, I want these 3 sauces on it.
You have to explain what it is.
So it's basically fries, and then on top of fries is like shredded meat.
Like gyro meat.
Gyro meat, yeah.
Basically like in a Greek place, but a lot of these shop owners are from Turkey, so.
Yeah. So you get your snack pack, which is just a box of meat on top of fries with some sauces, and you can choose like 3 sauces, and the best combo is like garlic,
like tzatziki,
yeah,
barbecue, and
sweet
hot chili or sweet chili.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll take the hot chili, sweet chili, and barbecue. And then I said, oh wait, no hot chili, I want the garlic. And
then he asked us to repeat it, so I repeated it for Corey. Perfectly clear.
Sweet chili, barbecue, garlic. And then what comes out is...
just barbecue and
hot chili. So the language barrier ruined my last snack pack. But they weren't that good, though. They used to be good.
He charged me for extra cheese when I said no cheese, because I don't think these normally come with cheese. And he said, cheese? And I said, no cheese. And then he charged me $2. I saw it on the receipt for extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
And I know it was for mine too, because Corey and I got different sizes, and it said he charged me the $2 for my size. And then when it came out, I was all upset in advance because I saw it on the receipt, and I was like, I didn't want cheese. And then it came out, and it didn't have cheese. So I don't know.
I got charged for no cheese.
He just wanted an extra $2 out of us.
Yeah.
Really rude.
But the nice part about that town was there was a really cool park, and we walked around it for like an hour.
Yes, that was
and
nice.
Eventually I was like, looking at the map, seeing which way we can get back to the caravan park. And I looked at a map, and it said there was like this bridge going across, and we could make a nice loop out of it. Anyway, we're walking around, going through like baseball fields and cricket pitches and all that sort of stuff. But we get to the area where we're supposed to cross the river, and I see like big caution tapes and like things are sealed off, but there was like still a little pathway through. So I was like, all right, let's go check out this bridge, see what's going on. And we turn around the corner, and half of the bridge is completely wiped out, and the other side of the river is completely landslide, gone. No way to get to the other side.
Yeah, so this was a pretty decently wide river, and this concrete bridge that wasn't that much higher than the water level went out like 3/4 of the way, and then just like the last fourth of it was gone. So Corey walked all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
And we saw a little bird with 2 eggs in the nest, which was really cool to see. Remember that?
Yeah. We've been seeing a lot of cute birdies.
Yeah. And yeah, we were really upset because, well, not upset, just like reminiscing on all the wonderful nights in the tent, because we thought that would be our last night in the tent. But just you wait. And the next day we started going up towards Sydney. We had to meet our house sitter at 9:30. 2 hours of traffic getting into Sydney. People say Sydney's the coolest city in the world.
I say that.
People say that, but the traffic is a problem.
Well, I don't say coolest. I say best city in the world.
I do agree that it's probably one of the most unique cities in the world, where it's like a harbor city that's so beautiful and has so many unique things. Yeah, I do love Sydney as a city. Manly Beach, if that's a part of Sydney.
Yes, the northern beaches.
Then that's the nicest city in the world for sure.
Yes, best city ever.
But
Corey had to drive through the traffic.
Yeah, and they charge it. If you just want to drive through Sydney, go anywhere. $25 a tolls.
Australian dollars. But yeah,
but yeah, like I don't know what the GW Bridge is in going into New York City, but that's ridiculous driving through
New York City. You said that weird.
Yes.
But then we got to our house sit, and it was in the most beautiful place.
Holy cow, the view here was unbelievable.
Cremorne Point. This lady's apartment had a forward-facing glass window overlooking the Sydney Harbor, the Opera House, and the Harbor Bridge, and everything else in between, and it was jaw-dropping.
Yeah, it was like one of those iconic views that, I mean, we were so lucky to get that house sit, because I feel like that was the cover photo of the ad on Trusted House Sitters.
Plus, anything in Sydney goes so immediately off the website.
Yeah, so I think we were pretty lucky, and we made a good relationship with the dog, Macy, and the owner, Jackie, and she really said she liked us at the end of the sit.
Yeah, she said she had a good feeling about us.
And
Love
Macy,
when people say that.
Yeah. Macy was a little Shih Tzu, right?
Yeah, she was so cute. She was 13.
More of these small dogs growing, like sitting for them, they're growing on me. They're fun.
Love small dogs.
Small dogs are a little fun, you can pick them up and stuff.
Yeah, Maisie was so cute. She would meditate, and we'd put on this meditation music for her, and there would be an image or a video clips of multiple turtles swimming.
Turtles, sea creatures, everything.
It was so peaceful. And her owner teaches meditation, and she said, and she's also a therapist
yeah.
or something like that. Social worker. And she said that
meditation leader.
Yeah, like when she used to have Zoom calls with the people who have gone through trauma, she used to work with a really much more sad demographic than she does now. When she would have these Zoom calls with her dog was getting sick, and then she switched to be more of a meditation teacher and then do her more traumatic clients outside the house. And her dog is now healthy and thriving and 13 going on
14.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
It was a really nice house, but the one thing that just grinds my gears about cities in general is finding a spot to park. Like that's all I care about when I'm in a city.
Yeah, it's
Where
really
can I
hard.
park? Cuz our car is massive. All these people driving around these cities are with like small smart cars. We got a tank. We got the best car in Australia. Still for sale if you want to buy it, DM me. But I just hate parking in cities. It's such a hassle. You drive around, try and find a spot. There's like a lot of off-street parking here, but it's just like like I'm a great parallel parker, and I tossed the car into some great spots or some tight spots this weekend or last weekend. But yeah, I still hate it. It's just stressful. Where are we gonna park?
Yeah,
Always in your mind.
I hate parking, traffic, and other people, so I too don't normally like cities, but I like Sydney.
Sydney.
You said not Sydney.
Yeah, and then we took Macy on the first walk, and I think this is the slowest dog I've ever walked.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
She just
Takes one step at a time, to say the least.
Yeah. But she's old, so.
We give her a break
And
for
she's
that.
cute. And there was a lot of steps, and it was kind of a long walk for her size.
Yeah, it was a mile walk, and
With a great view of the harbor, guys.
yeah, the
Right
whole
below the
time,
house.
the whole time you'd walk around and have these beautiful views of the harbor, and
And of these other beautiful houses on the water in this little bay off of the harbor. Just in this pool, a harbor pool.
harbor pool was really nice. We should have gone swimming in there, really,
Yeah.
but we missed out on that.
Well, it was a little gray besides the first day.
Yeah, but we did go swimming at Manly Beach that night.
Yeah.
We went to, what is it, Bower Beach?
Bower Beach near the ferry pools, or I don't know if it would be a ferry pool, but it gives,
Felt like it. Yeah.
it gives ferry vibes. And we swam in the freezing cold water there. That was great.
Yeah, you could definitely tell the difference between the water temperature in Sydney and everywhere else we've been because it's freezing there.
Yep. And then we laid on the rocks and
Watched some people, some dogs, and
lots of dogs.
hung out there for a while.
And yeah, the next day we went to Palm Beach, which was the last thing on my Australia bucket list. I have been meaning to go there 5+ years ago with my friends and just never got around to it. And then Corey was like, it was actually probably noon, and he's like, do you want to just go to Palm Beach right now? Which was
Yeah.
an hour drive. So we went, checked that off my bucket list.
Yes. It was nice. We climbed up to the top of a lighthouse, which the hike was much harder than I expected.
Well, it was so hot and humid, and my blood pressure felt so high going up there.
Yeah, it was pretty steep, and I guess they closed like the gentle like walking track because it's under maintenance, and they make you take the smuggler's track.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that we were taking
The smuggler's
a
track.
harder route. I didn't know anything was closed.
Yeah,
I saw caution tape. But...
That's what they were doing.
Okay, got it. I thought that I was just super out of shape suddenly when I just hiked Mount Kosciuszko.
Still recovering. Opposite altitude sickness. You know, when you're up high, you lose your breath, but it's the opposite for us. When we're back at sea level, we lose our breath. Yeah, and that was really cool to see. Palm Beach was like one of those, at the top you could see the ocean on one side and
The bay.
the bay on the other side, and it was almost like, why doesn't the ocean just come on through and make it an island? And
Yeah, like
it's a
double
very
beach.
cool view, yeah.
And in the parking lot, we saw a huge commotion, and Corey pointed out that it was a huge film production with the like little trolley filming people on the little filming tracks. I should know the words for these things because I actually majored in motion pictures. But yeah, the whole film crew was there, and we asked these kids what was going on, and they said they were filming for Home and Away.
So if anyone's ever heard of that show, I feel like my grandma's probably watched it for some reason.
Yeah, they said it's big in the UK.
Yeah, Home and Away.
I Googled it, it's been going since the 80s.
Wow, that's a long time.
It's probably the longest running show then.
I think MASH is, or one of those.
General Hospital.
Yeah, one of those shows that just go on forever and ever.
And so we asked, like, are these people famous? And they said, yeah, kinda, like, not really, but like,
yeah,
kinda.
they didn't know they were talking to famous podcasters.
Yeah. They were extras in the episode, so.
Yeah, it was cool to see that setup and walk around there.
They were filming at a fake coffee cart, and then this old lady went up to some young mom with a baby in a stroller and said, well, isn't that the cutest baby in the world? And that's what we got to witness from the show.
Yeah, so we'll try and watch the show and find that one scene. So that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, and some old men chit-chatting at the coffee cart.
Yeah, and the drive up there was gorgeous. Like, it's kind of crazy. Right when you leave Sydney, you go right into, like, remoteness. Or, like,
yeah,
you get outside the city limits, and then
there's trees everywhere.
The trees come back, and it's more remote, more small town feel. And
windy roads.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, I really expected the East Coast to be, like, super densely populated, but, like, Sydney's super densely populated, but as soon as you get out of it, it's really chill.
And all the restaurants and homes were gorgeous at Palm Beach. I would like to go back.
Yeah,
well, I don't need to, but it was gorgeous.
Yeah, every single little cafe looked like nice and well put together, and all the restaurants had nice outdoor seating, good
nice
vibes.
Lighting.
Definitely good vibes there.
Yeah, good vibes. And then we got to meet my old friend Liam for dinner in Manly. He actually lives right near those Bower ferry pools, and he's a really cool guy. I met him at UMiami because he was studying abroad there as an Australian studying abroad at UMiami.
Mm-hmm.
And he helped me out when I landed in Sydney my very first time, and I stayed with his family for a few nights before I could move into my dorm. And then he's just a good old friend. He loves traveling. He lived in Europe for the past 3 years. He just got back from Europe in the end of September, so we finally got to catch up.
Yeah, and it was my first time meeting him, and now he's off in China right now. Well, hopefully he's not locked up.
So I texted him and I said, wanna get together tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, tomorrow works. And then we met him and he goes, good thing we're meeting today because I'm going to China tomorrow. But he just got back from Vanuatu, and then right before that he just got back from Europe.
I know. He's definitely done. He said he's been to like 60 countries or something like that. He's very well traveled, and
he's my chillax.
I think
care about nothing inspiration.
Yeah, I think there's a trend on social media about like chill guys. He's definitely a chill guy.
100%.
Yeah, doesn't really care about anything, and
yeah,
really cool dude.
We love him for that. And he
and we were
invited us surfing in the morning.
Well, we were like, one of the only things we haven't really done is go surfing. And he's like, oh, you want to go tomorrow morning? Let's go at sunrise.
Sunrise surf.
And then he got some boards and made it happen. And we met him at 5:15, 5:30 for a beautiful day in Manly Beach where the waves were actually pumping.
Yeah, it was
not beginner
waves. Not for me.
Huge. How was your morning surf, would you say?
A little traumatic. I had a wetsuit, you know. Well, so Liam's not a pro either, but
he's also a beginner.
So it was basically like every man for themselves. Corey just starts paddling out to the deep before I'm even getting through my first like wave breaking on me as I'm carrying my board out there. Corey, and he's just far gone. Leaving me in the dust. So I'm around Liam, and these messy waves are just crashing everywhere at different angles, coming at me, drowning me. And I'm like on my board and whatever. And then I got taken by a rip, tried to swim inward, couldn't go anywhere, tried to float inward, had to wait for the waves to keep like pushing me back to shore. Finally got on my feet, and I tried to surf like along while I was stuck out there. Didn't work out so well, but finally got to shore. Liam got out with me and he was like, let's try again. We'll go to these smaller waves down the beach a little bit. We try again. I end up in the same exact rip because the current was so strong and just pulled me straight into it. Same thing. Could not go anywhere as much as I tried to kick. Was panicking because the cord around my ankle was getting loose as I was kicking so hard and I thought I was going to lose the board. Finally let the waves just brutally
just take me to sea.
Well, they had to push me forward into the beach. It took a long time and then I just gave up. But I went surfing, y'all. How did you go?
I did good. I paddled out there, sat out there for a while, didn't talk to anybody, but just like watched the waves go by, floated over some waves, accidentally got caught too close in and a couple waves crashed on me, and then I like boogie boarded one wave in at the end.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. I had a blast.
We did a sunrise surf. No matter what happened, we got out there.
Yeah, and right after we went to Liam's family's house, which is such a gorgeous house right in Manly Beach.
They're such a great family. Like, we hung out with his sister, his mom, his dad, him.
Yeah, it's good Aussie banter in the morning over a cup of tea.
They said that Liam could help us get a thruple visa if we want to come back.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
Yeah, they're a great fam. I'm glad we got to spend some time down there, and those were the same people who we left our stuff at the beginning of the year, so it was like coming full circle, seeing them at the end of the year when we've done so much stuff, and they're like, wow, you guys really have seen it all. So everyone's been saying we've seen the country more than most Australians.
Which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
everybody says that, yeah.
Yeah. They do travel a lot, but they don't necessarily travel Australia.
Yeah.
A lot.
So that was a really fun morning, and it was only like 8 o'clock by the time we got back to the house, and so we were just getting ready for the dog walk.
Yeah. And then
so earlier that morning, I didn't tell you this.
Okay.
But I think when we were getting up at like 5:30 or something, I turned on the bathroom lights and there was a spider next to my foot. A huntsman.
That spider?
The same spider. But I didn't do anything about it because I thought he would just leave. But it scared the life out of me because it was like it came at my foot. It like crawled at my foot and like almost got me.
They don't like people.
But it was crawling at me.
I went to the bathroom also with the lights off. I think before you.
Yeah. You probably almost got.
Oh, thank God that I didn't know.
But there was a giant, it wasn't that big. It was a huntsman, and
its body was thick. Its body was thick. Yeah, so I had just showered, I think, or something, and he was off to the side sleeping, and I made Corey come in and get him, and you probably saw it on my Instagram story, but I will put it on the @GoodDayPod Instagram.
Yeah, but that was me growing as a person and being kind to animals. Because the first huntsmans we smashed them, but these guys I captured and let out.
Yeah.
Oh, and also on that walk, we saw a cheeky little blue-tongued lizard.
I love those boys.
Yeah, they're like really thick and have thick tails, and their tails look like their heads. And I pet the tail, and he ran off.
They're so cute.
Yeah, they are pretty nice.
And then we got really good Thai food that they grow their vegetables in Byron Bay.
The Thai food was so good. I didn't know. I had the Mosman curry, and people all of Australia are like, oh, Mosman curry, we love it so much. And I hadn't had it, and I didn't even know it was a Thai food, but it was delicious. And what did you get?
Yeah, I had cut and
noodles with brisket.
Yeah, it was like a soup, basically. Curry soup. Well, traditional northern Thai curry type soup.
Mm-hmm.
It was so delicious.
Yeah, both mine and Max's were delicious, but like I've never been full off of spices before. Like I was mentally full from like the amount of spices and flavors. My brain couldn't handle it and I couldn't finish it. I don't know. It's never happened to me before. It was just like wild. All like the flavor. I don't know. My mind couldn't handle the spice. I don't know how else to put
Mine
it.
was also extremely flavorful.
Yeah, they're both really good, and
Yeah. And then we caught up with Jackie the homeowner cuz she came back late at night, so we saw her in the morning and we got to chill for a little bit cuz she left early for work and
yeah,
then we headed out, but leaving that gorgeous view, didn't want to do it.
I know. And we did a lot of packing up the car, getting ready to go because our plan at this point was we didn't really have any hits on the car, and we really didn't really want to leave it in Sydney. And luckily, our cousins Brett and Kelsey, Henry and Claire told us that they would sell the car up in Coffs Harbour, and they've been so good to us lately. It's
We love them
unbelievable.
so much. We owe them probably a million favors. They're
Yes.
just the nicest people in the world. I didn't want them to have to sell our car, but it ended up being a good thing because I don't know. I feel like we weren't organized enough, and Corey's
Yeah.
phone thought he was in Japan, so it was shadow banning his Facebook listing,
Hmm.
and my Facebook listing also didn't really get any viewers. So we just kind of needed the extra days to get it sold.
Yeah, so we didn't have anything booked in Sydney, and we made the decision to drive back up to Coffs and sell the car. So that day we were getting ready, packing up all our stuff to leave at Cam and Sam's house, so we didn't have to take the train back down with all this stuff. Which actually, that would probably be a good time to. Should we go to the train now?
Yeah.
All right, we will continue this. You guys won't know what happened, but we'll probably be in a different place.
Yeah. But thanks, Kim and Sam, for letting us leave our stuff there.
All right, see you guys in a few.
See ya.
Good day, everybody. We're back.
Good day, everybody.
We are in a very different location, but we're going to pick it up where we left off. So we couldn't sell the car in Sydney, so we took up my cousin's offer to have them help us sell it, and we needed to get rid of everything in it basically. So we dropped all of our stuff, we packed it all up, dropped it all off at Cam and Sam's house in Sydney, so we wouldn't have to take it all back on the train.
Yeah, so we drove the car up after dropping off a ton of luggage and went to Coffs Harbor. Spent 2 nights?
Yeah, but before we went up to Coffs Harbor, we dropped the stuff off and went to the Paddy markets.
Oh, yes, the Paddy's Markets in Chinatown in Sydney, which is really fun. I had gone there with my friend Faye a couple of years back, and it was cool to go back with Corey.
Yeah, it was probably the most touristy, like, just, they had everything, like, every tourist trap gift out there, but it was good tourist trap stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was super cheap, so I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And oh my God, we were walking around and we hadn't had any food or anything. And this was before we even headed up to Cough. So this is like 4 or 5 o'clock. Normally we start like adventuring and getting on the road well earlier, but we needed food before we started heading up. And there was this buffet, Chinese buffet. I don't think
Well,
I've
they
had.
had a food court.
Yeah, food court right above the Paddy markets, and I don't know when the last time I had Chinese food was, but this was some delectable. It was a succulent Chinese meal.
Yeah, that's the thing about Australia. They have a lot of Thai places and other Asian cuisines, like Indonesian, but they don't have a lot of Chinese food. Well, they do, but like,
I don't know. They said at the Bolo that there's always a Chinese place, and
yeah, Brett told us that.
yeah, and it's always the best Chinese food you'll ever have. So they'll be middle of nowhere at the Bolo, and you'll get the best Chinese food.
But yeah, the Chinese food was so good, and Corey was absolutely starving, and I think he was craving sushi. And there was a sushi spot about 2 stalls away. And I said, "Look, there's sushi." And he said, "That's too far." And he ordered from the Chinese buffet.
I needed food. I needed it ASAP. They dished me out. I started eating as they were dishing it out. And it was so good, too. And I don't know. I was just craving food. I don't know if I was craving sushi, but Usually I'll go give the sushi a look because the Aussie sushi stations, it's not even sushi most of the time I get it. I just get chicken and rice and avocado, and it's like the best meal ever.
In a hand roll.
Yeah, so I will never turn down a chicken hand roll. But that time I needed the succulent Chinese meal.
What's the charge, officer?
Eating a succulent Chinese meal.
Um, but yeah, then we drove up towards Newcastle.
Yeah, so this was kind of just like a last minute, like, we didn't really know what we were doing with the car, and we're like, all right, let's just go to Coffs today. We spent the whole day kind of unloading, packing, and dropping it off at Cam's, and we ended up getting so, like, behind in the day. We're like, all right, we gotta go. We gotta start heading towards Newcastle, and we thought maybe we could stay with our friends in Newcastle, but then it just, like, it didn't work out, and I ended up finding a beautiful free camp right outside of Newcastle in a little place called Sugarloaf Conservation Park or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Any yowies?
No yowies, but Brett said there was koalas, and we heard a really cool bird. Couldn't identify the bird though.
I thought you heard a yowie.
Oh, I don't know what it was, but when Maxie was like just fell asleep, I was still up, and I just heard like basically it sounded like someone taking a tree and or like a big log, like a fresh wooden log, and dropping it on top of another log. And it was just like a clap sound. And I heard that like once, and then 5 minutes went by, then again, and then 5 minutes went by, and then again, and then I fell asleep. But they say that's common with yowies.
Classic Bigfoot sign.
Yes, but I didn't feel any Bigfoot related stuff or anything like that. And we were also near a highway, so I don't know. It was too different.
It would have been far away.
Yeah, it was really, really far away as well. So it didn't worry me out a bit at all.
Yep. And then the next morning, we wanted to go shower in the ocean. So we went for a swim at some beach called Pilot Beach in Camden Point.
Yeah, it was funny because it was right across the river from North Haven and West Haven, and it might have even been in East Haven. But on our way down from Coffs to Sydney, we drove through that area and stopped by on the other side. But we had a beautiful swim in the Pilot Beach.
Yeah, it was kind of like a jetty beach marina.
Yeah, like hundreds of little kids there. I think everyone must have been looking at us and be like, what are these two unemployed hippies doing here on a Monday morning or whatever day of the week it was?
All families. Kids.
No, it was a really nice beach, and the water was nice and crisp and cool, and it was gorgeous, beautiful, crystal clear water as well, which I remembered.
And then we took a second swim at Bala Beach, but before we went swimming, Corey was hungry, so we stopped by this cafe, and they said to us, "Oh, hey, we close in 5 minutes, but you can order anything from this like glass case right here." So Corey goes, "Okay, cool, these pre-made sandwiches, can you toast them?" And the girl goes, let me ask. And then she comes back and she says no. And like we had to leave 5 minutes before they closed with nothing in hand because they refused to toast something when they were still open for the next 5 minutes.
Just another example of Australians don't want to work. And our friend Cam even said, if I'm working, he's a bar back right now, and he's like, oh, yeah, if someone's waiting for a drink, I'm not going to pour them one. And we said, oh, why not? Is it like...
Because you're not
allowed to?
Or,
you don't have the certificate
or
something? And he says, no, it's just not in my job description, so I won't do the extra work.
Yeah, and that's just every Australian, not just him, so...
Yeah.
So we don't think this girl cared at all that we left with nothing. It just gave her less work to do.
Yeah, but then we drove down the street and had an amazing meal.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and then we got to go swimming in Vala Beach, which all these little beaches on the New South Wales coast have these like beautiful estuaries that like sprinkle out into the ocean, and it's this blue water, and it's all shallow and it's warm, and this one was actually had quite a bit of a current, so we jumped in it and we're floating down the lazy river, and I almost got swept away at one point.
Yeah, the estuaries are really beautiful in Australia, especially this one. But you also swam in the waves and you saw.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get some wave swimming in because there's not going to be too many times left for nice wave swimming, and as I was going out into the really deep water, well, it was just not that deep. It was like chest deep. I see something like floating in the water, like in the wave. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? Is that like a log? Is that coming at me? What is that? And then I see it again, and it happens to be a turtle.
A sea turtle.
A sea turtle floating in the waves, and I was so hyped to see that. That was awesome, and I was like yelling back to Maxie. I was like, "There's a turtle! There's a turtle!"
He was acting out the turtle swimming, and I thought he was a whale. But the estuary, I loved it there. I would go back to that beach 100%.
Yeah, all those beaches around Coffs Harbour. I'm telling you, Coffs and the surrounding areas, top spot in Australia. And I don't know if it's just because we've had just so much fun in that area or what, but I've been really enjoying it.
Apparently the universe wanted us to see it while it was sunny, because when we visited our cousins the first time, it was rainy.
Yeah.
The whole weekend, or whenever the days were that we were there, but
this time when we were in Coffs, oh my God, it was full on summer send. It was like 35 degrees Celsius or like 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So nice. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful water. And we just did a repeat of what we did last time. We went down to the beach, played some beach cricket, got some fish and chippies, and watched the sunset down at Bombay Beach, was it? Boambi Beach.
Yeah, we drove on the beach, and then Corey and Henry went swimming in the little rock pool.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, there's nothing beats a good like beach day where you just drive down on the beach, you got all your stuff in the car, and we got to make more drive-on beaches in the United States of America.
Yeah, in Connecticut just isn't it for similar beaches and the driving sitch.
It's not the same, but it's just like so nice where you just pull up on the beach, you got all your beach chairs in the car, you got like a table, you got everything you could want.
You got your towels, you got your snacks.
You got to change your clothes. If you go swimming, you want to get changed, boom.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to drive on the beaches. And it's just a vibe.
It is such a vibe.
But that was really fun recreating that night.
Yeah, and the next morning we went on a beautiful headland walk. I forget, this one was to the north of the city of Coffs, and we went over to Diggers Beach.
Yeah.
And it is just such, I mean...
That beach was beautiful. It looked like Hawaii, and we had not been to Hawaii. So we were looking at these green
ridge lines
on the headlands. And we're like, this looks like Hawaii to us, with the blue water and the waves.
Oh, it's just so gorgeous. It's like... I feel like we're so incredibly blessed to see all these amazing places and just
100%.
experience them. It has been such an amazing like beach journey, and I'm happy. Like a lot of the stuff we did during the beginning, or like inland Australia is cool, but like Australia is famous for the beaches, and it really shines on the New South Wales coast.
Yes, I love it. And I think we could spend years exploring all those beaches.
Every single little beach town has its own character, its own cool hidden beach and headland that you can walk around.
I will never get over the headlands. Every single one of them is so unique and beautiful.
Yeah, and I think, we were talking about this before, but our state ranking, New South Wales is a strong number 2 for both of us now.
Yes.
We'll do, I think probably once we get back to Brantford, we'll have...
Wait, number 3, I think. Because was Tassie number 2?
No, I bumped Tassie down to 3.
Yeah, I guess, because it's cold most of the year.
Yeah. But we'll do a more recap and favorite things episode probably after our last episode. So keep an eye out for that one, guys. We'll reminisce some memories, or if you guys... had any memories that you loved that we shared, make sure to message us about those.
Yeah.
Or any funny stories that you guys laughed a lot at.
But while we were on the walk with Henry and Brett, We got to stick our fingers in some sea urchins? No,
Sea
anemones.
sea anemones, yeah.
And they close around your finger and it feels really funny.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you're allowed to touch these things? I thought you really weren't supposed to touch anything down here.
Yeah.
But Henry was like, no, these are fine. Look.
And then they also showed us these squishy things that look like soft barnacles. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great way to describe it.
And you press them and they squirt ocean water out at you. And that was the night before. But then also on this walk, Henry and Brett found fresh water, like running
Like a freshwater spring coming out of the headland rocks.
into like a little rock pool. And Henry was drinking it and cupping so much water and drinking it out of his hand. And he had like 5 or 6 handfuls. And he's like, everybody's got to get a sip of this. It's so fresh.
You got to get a load of this. Yeah. Oh,
So
that was
cute.
hilarious. Yeah. These guys, Henry, the whole family, Henry, Brett, Kelsey, and Claire, they're all super into nature and they're
Very
like
in
so
touch with
wise.
nature,
Yeah.
They know what everything is.
They know they can spot the smallest little bird and be like, oh, that's this kind of bird. That's a rare one. Usually the ones that we see are blue, but those ones are red. So those are rare. And so it's awesome hanging out around them because they just know so much about Australia and the animals and the wildlife.
Yeah, I wish I was more like that back home.
I know we still have time.
Yeah, we'll study our local wildlife.
Yes. Oh, and another thing that we did with Henry was watch some Lego Star Wars and Lego live action things. But that kind of brings us back. I don't know if we talked about this last week, but so a lot of Lego things have been thrown at us in the last week or so, and it all started with Cam and Sam telling us that, oh, Legos have made like a comeback. They're like targeting adults now with like more complex and more like engineered Lego designs. So when we were down in Sydney, we saw Cam and Sam's Lego Defender, which is just like a dream car.
It's so cool. It has all the things, all the fixins on it. It has
All the fixings.
like a roof rack. You can steer the wheels and drive it. It has, I think it's parked on some fake Max tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so cool. It has all the off-roady features in Lego form.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then we got an ad. Well, I got an ad
Oh,
of
yeah.
our car,
The car we're selling
the Land Cruiser Prado,
in Lego form.
in Lego form. So might have to buy that.
Yeah, that one looked really good, and it could be a bridge back to the childhood of getting into Legos and doing it. But yeah, Legos are really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever played with them much as a kid, but
They're making a comeback, so
Yeah.
buy Lego stock. Insider trading tips.
Yep. And if you guys remember from our Crocodile Dundee episode, Brett has a really cool hat, a very Australian hat. And Henry decided to wear his mini version of Brett's hat
Yeah.
this weekend. It was so cute.
Yeah, that was really nice. I need one of those hats.
I want one too.
They look so good. They look very Aussie. I don't know if I could pull it off. I was looking to buy at the Paddy Markets one of the Crocodile Dundee hats that had the teeth in them. You know, classic Australian crocodile teeth in the hat. But they're all out of budget.
Yeah,
They'd sell them for an arm and a leg, and they're not really worth that.
but they're really cool. We should.
If I wanted one, I should have got it like when we first got here, you know, because then it would be worn in, that would look good, you know. But going home with a new hat hasn't seen the country like we have.
True.
Oh, and some other stuff we did after the Headland Walk was we checked out we went to the Coffs Harbour Library, and there was a surf museum or surf display going on, going over local surf culture and like all the champions who were there and the surf contests, and it was awesome to see. They had all boards in there and videos, old surf films, great pictures, and
Yeah, nothing really beats surf culture and looking at surfboards and beach and wave photos.
beautiful waves. Like,
I might not be a pro surfer, but I can really appreciate
A
The
nice
vibe.
wave, yeah.
I passed the vibe check.
Oh, and there was a great artist display at the end I really liked of,
Me too.
I forget his name, but he had just some like, it was almost like an NFT style artwork, I'd describe it.
Of Australian animals.
Australian
Wearing
animals
sunglasses
surfing, and
surfing, yeah.
yeah, it was really cool. And the rest of the day, we kind of just,
Cleaned our car up, outside and inside.
yeah, made it really nice because we wanted to make it crystal clean for easiest possible route for Brett and Kelsey to sell the car. So we completely took everything out of it, cleaned it all down, said our goodbyes, really, and
We both drove it one last time while we
yeah.
were there. But yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, we popped the tent up and like pulled out all the things and took some pictures of it, and it's like full force with the awning and the rooftop tent and the back door and everything. And actually, while we were doing that, we have some interested potential buyers.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, some friends of Brett and Kelsey's are a British couple who are looking to do a little road trip around, and they were there. They just got a caravan, and they need something to pull their caravan now. So while we were cleaning it all out, making it look nice and pretty, they gave it a look and are interested. So
It's just sad because they wouldn't have the rooftop tent.
yeah,
They would take it
honestly,
off, and that's my favorite part of the car.
I'm like hoping no one buys it, and then we have to come back.
Yeah, so it's so nice that Brett and Kelsey are helping us out. But then also it feels good that we didn't have to say goodbye to the car ourselves.
It was a soft goodbye.
We're obsessed with our car. And also we can still say that we have a house in Australia. We bought a house and we still have a house in Australia.
Yeah, we could go and live down there forever, so don't push me.
Psycho.
Oh, but we needed to celebrate our last night in Australia.
Well, second to last.
Second to last night in Australia.
Full night.
Um,
And Brett and Kelsey and the kids had to go to an 80s themed birthday party, which was so cute. But Corey and I grabbed some to-go pizzas and drove them down to Boyambi Beach, exactly where we had the fish and chips, and
so what did you order?
enjoyed there.
The pizza I ordered was like a chorizo chicken, like something a little spicy with meat on it and cheese. Do you remember what you ordered? You ordered like a chili jalapeno.
Yeah, it was like a spicy pepperoni or something.
And what came out on this pizza,
It was the most disgusting.
I'll start with the stuff that's fine. So cheese, chicken. Now it starts to get weird.
Okay, no, massive chunks of unflavored chicken.
Chicken was dry, yes, and unflavored.
Tasteless.
Then there was pesto, pine nuts, and mango.
Big mango chutney chunks.
I'll eat anything,
And peppers.
but I didn't. I had one slice of that.
It was so bad. I did not order that. They gave me the wrong pizza, charged us more for it. And then we called and I was like, hey, I think you gave us someone else's order, but we're already like gone with it. What do you want us to do? And they were like, no, that was your order. And I was like, no, I ordered this other pizza. And they said, oh, whoops, you can come back and get a new one, but that's all we're going to do. And I said, well, we're already too far away, so I'm hungry. I'm going to eat it. But it was awful.
Maxie was kind of trying to test to see if the customer service in Australia has changed since we got here a year ago.
I didn't think it would have, but
No, it has not.
I was just concerned because my pizza that I was going to get would have been much nicer.
Yeah, and we did a little more organizing of our stuff, really getting ready, packed up, ready to go. And we have so much stuff, but we made it all work that night, at least. We packed it all up, got ready to go, and kind of the next day, so our game plan was to take the night train back to Sydney for a 5 p.m. flight the next day from Sydney. So we'd leave Coffs Harbour Sunday, 10 p.m., and get into Sydney Monday, 7 a.m. or something like that. So we had the whole day to, which kind of in my head, I was like, okay, we could sleep on the train. We don't need to buy any accommodation in Sydney. And we can make the most of the day. And I think we really did. We started the day off going to the Coffs Harbour markets.
Yeah, we got to try the famous Davidson's plum donuts.
Delicious. I talked some mushrooms, It's always a good market when you talk to the mushroom people. I think this guy was new to the mushroom game, so not as intelligent or not as like knowledgeable on the subject as some other people. Which was fun. Good talk, good markets, large size markets, and we got some goodies to bring home.
Yeah, markets in Australia are just like the airport. There is all types of food, liquor, all types of drinks, and
You
you can have whatever you want all in the hours of the morning, and no one judges you. We had, I think, dumplings,
dumplings, a cold
donuts.
brew,
We had mostly normal things, but they were also selling like Middle Eastern food, and
mhm,
usually they're doing
kebabs,
a
sushi
an
rolls.
alcohol tasting if there's a alcohol vendor there. Yeah, they were selling sushi,
hmm
and we were there at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, and after the markets, we went to watch Henry's um,
Cricket
cricket club
clinic,
clinic. Yeah,
like a 4-hour camp type
yeah,
thing with the Sydney
swingers,
Swans.
Sixers.
Sixers.
I don't know. I actually don't know
The
what they
Sixers,
are.
yes.
But it was fun. Nice to see. I'm learning more about cricket. I had no idea, but these guys have been teaching me the ways of cricket, and it's a cool sport. I like it. I like now, at least when it's like on, I know how to watch it and know like what's going on and the scoring and then all that thing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I know how to play beach cricket.
hmm And you're a superstar at beach cricket.
I don't know about that, but you guys said I was good at the bowling.
Yeah, you were.
I was afraid to do that part.
And after, though, it was a wicked hot day there, so we headed straight to the beach. We went our last beach day in Australia. We went to Diggers Beach in Coffs Harbour, and it was gorgeous. The water was so perfect, like nice waves. We were body surfing and jumping in the waves and hanging out. And it was almost too hot to be there for a long time because when we got there, the beach was pretty packed, but we stayed for like an hour, and by the time we were leaving, it was quite empty.
Yeah, no one was staying for a long time. It was a very hot day. But that was gorgeous. That was such a fun last swim. We played in the waves multiple times. They're decent size
hmm
on the larger end.
I think I got my one of probably the top 10 wave of the trip on my last wave for body surfing wise. Got barreled, got pitted.
Did you?
Not really, but
Corey loves body surfing.
I know it's just so fun, get in there. Unless when the waves are like big, it's kind of scary because then you get like thrown on the ground, and that's scary.
Yeah, I don't like big waves.
But these waves are perfect size. There was like surfers around hanging out, and
But in the last few months, I've been really getting used to big waves, and I think I'm a bigger person. A more grown up person than the beginning of the year who was very fearful of most waves.
yeah.
Now I could handle the larger end, but
You think
not
you could
nothing
have
too
gone
big.
out? It's a little sneak peek. Do you think you could have gone out of the waves today?
No.
No. Neither can I.
Anyways, so we went back to Diggers Beach for dinner because Brett and Kelsey wanted to go to this place called
Anuka?
Anuka Beach
Yeah.
House, and it was so cool. It was basically like a cool Bali club restaurant.
Yeah.
But
Food was really good too.
Apparently, it used to be just a pub, and then they upgraded it, and it's so cool. There was a female DJ. All the seating was so interesting. Yeah, so loved it there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And they said like they turned it around and the place was packed. Like they had a nice big open soccer field and like playing field for kids and stuff like that. And you could walk right out on the beach. It's just really nice place. I love Coffs. And after that, we kind of went down, hung out on the beach. We looked around in the rock pools and stuff. And eventually we wanted to go get some gelato. So the Lease family, or how do you say it, their last name?
I think it's Lace.
Anyways,
Sorry if we're saying it wrong.
we raced them down to the gelato place at the jetty, and guess who won?
Well, we were behind because we parked so far away, and Corey said, "Race you there," and we didn't think anyone heard him say that. And then Henry hung himself out the window saying, "We're gonna beat you," as we were getting into our car, and they were driving past.
But we snuck. I caught up to them in the car a little bit. I think they got stopped by some roundabout traffic, and we caught them in the parking lot. But I snuck into a spot early, and then we ran to the ice cream place before they got in.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
They're cute. And then we all got to watch the sunset on the water.
Amazing sunset for our last
Yeah, it was
night in
a
Coffs.
ripper of a sunset.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah, and then we were showered with gifts by them. By Henry tried to
Oh
give
my
me
gosh.
some amethyst, and he gave me a clone trooper, which I still have.
Yeah, he was just picking up random decor from his house and trying to give it to Corey. So sweet.
Oh, so funny.
All of them gave us things. It was so sweet.
Yeah, some nice notes from Claire and Henry.
The nicest family in the world, probably.
Yeah, and it was sad saying goodbye. Like we really didn't like. We didn't want to leave, really. Just we don't want to leave the country, but
Yeah.
I'm not leaving.
Well, apparently we're not committed to leaving since we did not sell the car.
True. Yeah. But it was.
We'll always come back here.
Yeah, and I think Australia will always play a big role in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll probably
we'll
be
not
back
get.
like every other year at most, like at longest time apart.
Yeah,
Who
so
knows?
sad saying goodbye, and then I guess we're gonna talk more about what we've done since leaving in the next episode. But yeah, we hopped on the train, and that was all.
Yep. We'll talk about the train ride next time.
Yeah, so I think this is all we have for you on this episode, but please stay tuned for our journey home and what we have in between leaving Australia and going home. So please stay tuned for next week's episode, and we hope you all have a good day.
Have a good day. We love you.
Peace.
Ciao.